Hello, I'm Susan Woods, your Black Lives Matter fraud investigator. Thank you for your time. You may recall a while back, I started investigating the $21.7 million that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation gave to LGBTQIA organizations. And I decided to dig a little deeper and to look at those organizations individually to see why, or see if I could determine why the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation gave so much money to those organizations. Again, those organizations divided $21.7 million, and there were a total of 30 LGBTQIA organizations that received the money. So this is just a part two of that question. Why did the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation give so much money to LGBTQIA organizations? So here are the questions that I'm going to try to answer in this video message. What is the grant funding application process? Who selected the organizations to get the money? Do the organizations have 501c3 status? And how are the organizations using the tax-free money to enhance the communities in which they serve? Whenever a foundation grants free money, tax-free money to organizations, there should be some type of application process. Normally, foundations will announce requests for proposals to the community in a way in which anyone can see the opportunity to submit grant proposals. So they are requesting grant proposals, requests for proposals, or announcements saying, we have money and we want you to apply for the money. The request for proposals stipulate how the money is to be used, the eligibility requirements, the deadline for submitting a grant application, so on and so forth. So what was the grant application process that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation used to let people know, okay, we have money that we want to award to qualified nonprofits? Two, who selected the organizations to get the money? When the money was dispersed in 2021, the only person that was working at the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation in an administrative role was Patrice Coolers. She was the only person there. So she selected the organizations to get the $21.7 million. Third, number three, do the organizations have 501c3 status? Well, in just a moment, we're going to see. I'm going to go to the sites, the websites of the organizations, and I'm going to see if they have 501c3 status. Number four, how are the organizations using the tax-free money to enhance the communities? So I want to know, how are these organizations using the money that they received from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation? Now, the last time in the first video, the first part of this series, if you will, I went to this page in the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation 2020 Impact Report. And this is what it says. In 2020, we, meaning Patrice Coolers, selected 30 local organizations not part of our grassroots apparatus to be our first cohort of official Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation grantees. As several communities were thrown into heightened political, socioeconomic, and medical vulnerabilities through COVID-19, BLMGNF, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, sought to ensure the survival of some of society's most vulnerable Black LGBTQIA folks. Of the 30 organizations selected, 23 of them are led by Black LGBTQIA folks and are directly serve these communities in places like Chicago, New York, New Jersey, DC, and Alabama. Our selected organizations are listed below. We have, Patrice Concoolers has committed a 6-figure grant, meaning free money, tax-free money to each of these organizations. And I've already talked about the first 5. I divided this video series into 5. I'm focusing on 5 organizations at a time. We've already talked about the Okra Project, the TGI Justice Project, Take Birmingham, Trans United, and the Audre Lorde Project, Trans Justice. So today in this video, we're going to focus on these organizations: Breakout, Black Trans Circles, BLMP, Solutions Not Punishment Coalition, and the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. So again, we're going to investigate looking at these 5 organizations to answer the questions that I previously shared with you. So if you just give me just a moment, please, I'm going to pause my screen and I'm going to go to those sites. Thank you so much for your interest in this matter. I know that as time passes, people become less and less interested in answering the question, what happened to the money? Where is the money? Where is the money that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation secured? $90 million, as a matter of fact, is what the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation raised in 2020 in the wake of the George Floyd murder. But, we're coming up on 2 years, and, the news has transitioned to other things, and people are just not interested, not as many people are as interested in it as I am, of course. But I'm determined to try to find out what happened to the money. Well, to this evening, we're talking about the fact that the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, under the administration of Patrice Concoolers, gave $21.7 million to be divided among 30 LGBTQIA organizations. And tonight we're focusing on 5. The first one you see here is called Breakout. And the question is, what does Breakout do in the community? And is it a formal 501c3 nonprofit organization, which would mean it would be in a position to receive tax-free money? So about us, who we are. And normally people put their tax status in the About Us section. They want to brag about it. If they have 501c3 status, they want to brag about that. So let's see. We're looking at About Us. So this talks about their administration team members, advisory board, and that's about it here. Okay. The vision, mission, history. Okay. Breakout envisions a city where transgender, gender nonconforming, and queer youth of color can live without fear of harassment and discrimination. Not going to read all about that. You can go back to it if you choose to look at it, because now I'm looking for their tax deductible or their tax information or exempt information. Are they tax free? Are they not exempt? Do they have a 501c3 status? I doubt that it's on this page. This is a timeline. Get involved. Let's see what that says. Get involved. Sometimes when they have a way to get involved, they will show information about the tax exempt status. I don't see anything here about that. Let's look at Donate Now. Okay, on the donate page, if you're a nonprofit organization, this is where you want to put your employee identification number, EIN, to make it easy for people to investigate your organization. And I don't see anything here about that. It says donate now. If you prefer to donate via check, please write all checks to social and environmental entrepreneurs with Breakout in the memo field and mail to 4327 Canal Street, New Orleans, 70119. So why would I make a check out to social and environmental entrepreneurs? This sounds like it might be an organization that's being helped by another organization, or another organization, maybe its fiscal sponsor, maybe Kindful, KINFUL.com, maybe it's its actual fiscal sponsor. And if that is the case, why not just say so? Because a lot of times fiscal sponsors will allow organizations to operate under their umbrella. The organizations that do not have a 501c3 status, a fiscal sponsor will allow you to operate and use their status. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly legal. But when someone or an organization chooses not to disclose that, it makes me suspicious. Why not? Why not just be honest and let people know how you really operate? And then allow us, people, the public, to make decisions on whether or not we want to help you. So this is Breakout. So what I can tell from here, we learned about their mission, and we also learned, or I learned, that I don't think they have 501c3 status. It sounds as if they are working under the fiscal sponsorship of social and environmental entrepreneurs. So that's Breakout. Let's go to the next one. The next organization that we're going to look at is called Black Trans Circles. Black Trans Circles. Just a moment, let me see something. I want to make sure. Okay. Black Trans Circles, BTC, develops the leadership of Black trans women in the South and Midwest through the creation of healing justice spaces to work through oppression-based trauma and incubate community organizing efforts to address anti-trans murder and violence. So that's what this organization is about, okay? The Black Trans Circles, okay? And then it gives more information about the rationale for having this organization, okay? The steering committee, follow our work in the news, and someone is maintaining the website pretty frequently. The last update was February 25th, so that's pretty frequent. Support, let's go right over to the donate. And again, if you are a legitimate organization, then you should have your EIN number readily available for someone to investigate. So let's take a look. It says supporters like you are critical to our success by providing the resources necessary to advance the rights of transgender and gender non-conforming people, defend our victories, and ensure our movement's strength. Thank you. Join the Trans Liberation Circle by making an annual commitment of $1,000 or more, or an automated recurring gift of any amount. You can become a member of the Trans Liberation Circle. Now they have the Charity Navigator logo here, as well as the GuideStar Platinum Seal of Transparency 2020. I can put a logo on my website, and doesn't mean that those organizations have vetted my organization. That doesn't mean that I am approved by Charity Navigator or GuideStar. So anybody could put a seal of approval on a website. That doesn't mean that they earned it. I'm looking for the EIN here. Here we go. To donate, please make checks. To donate by check, excuse me. Please make payable to Transgender Law Center and mail to us, and they have the mailing address. For questions about donations, contact this email. For questions regarding a donation, please contact Director of Development, this person, okay? I'm still looking for, okay, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. A message from TLC's development team. We are experiencing high donation volumes right now, which may result in a delay in your gift being processed. But please rest assured, we're processing as fast as we can, and we love and appreciate your support so very much. That must be nice. Your charitable gift is tax deductible. All right, this is what I'm looking for. Transgender Law Center is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they gave the federal tax ID number, which is the EIN of 0505440006. And that's fantastic. So when I go to the IRS.gov website, in a few moments, I can check the validity of that number. But this is what you want to do. If you are legitimate, you want to be transparent in providing your federal tax ID number, which is also called the Employer Identification Number, or EIN. So let's keep going to the next organization that's on the list, and that's BLP. Now, BLP is again under the umbrella of the Transgender Law Center. The same layout of the website. And I'm sure if I would have looked a little longer on the prior website, I probably would have come to this screen. But at least this organization, BLMP, the Black LGBTQIA plus Migrant Project, at least they are transparent from the start by saying fiscally sponsored organization, meaning that they have a fiscal sponsor, another organization with an EIN that is a 501c3 status, that has 501c3 status, and is allowing them to operate under its umbrella, and that's just fine. So let's talk about what is their mission and vision. Let's see. Okay. About us, mission and vision. Transgender Law Center changes law, policy, and attitudes so that all people can live safely, authentically, and free from discrimination, regardless of their gender identity or expression. Okay. So they have what they believe, their history, and that's all good. All right. So now let's go over here to support and go to donate. It's the same thing. Same thing. So I'm not sure which organization is its fiscal sponsor, because it's laid out the exact same way as before, the same tax ID number. So I'm assuming that the BLMP is fiscally sponsored by the Transgender Law Center. I'm assuming that because they have the same EIN number, the same exact information as we just saw. Okay, so let's keep going. The next one that we're going to look at is called Solutions Not Punishment Coalition. Solutions Not Punishment Coalition. And let me make sure that I pause the screen so that I can get to the right place here. Thank you for your patience. I have to keep checking to make sure that we're looking at the same information. Okay, so Solutions Not Punishment Collaborative. I'm sorry, I said coalition, but it's collaborative. So what are they talking about? They are this organization is one of the 30 organizations that received a tax-deductible investment from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, or rather they received free money. I don't know if it's tax deductible for them yet, but they received free money from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. So let's see what they're about. Okay, our mission. The Solutions Not Punishment Coalition, Black Trans Lives Matter, End Police Profiling and Violence. Solutions Not Punishment Collaborative. So they have collaborative in some places and coalitions in other. Okay, I feel better now. Is a Black, trans, and queer-led organization that builds safety within our community, investing in our collective embodied leadership, and building political power. We envision a vibrant, radically inclusive Metro Atlanta where all our people are safe and free, have the opportunity to live and thrive as their authentic selves. Okay, so here is the red donate button. You can't miss it. Let's see if they have an EIN. Support us. Donate to building Black trans futures. Okay. I'm looking. So I guess I need to click on support us. All right. So this is a PayPal link. Donate to social and environmental entrepreneurs. Solutions Not Punishment Collaborative. Didn't we see that someplace before? Social and environmental entrepreneurs. Breakout used the same organization, didn't they? Remember the very first organization we looked at was Breakout? They used the same organization. So apparently, social and environmental entrepreneurs is the fiscal sponsor for Solutions Not Punishment Coalition or Collaborative. That's interesting. Again, it's perfectly legal to have a fiscal sponsor, but just be transparent about it. Now you're looking like you're trying to hide something. But this is where you go, and I'm going to do some investigations on social and environmental entrepreneurs to see if they are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is a fiscal sponsor for Breakout, the first organization we looked at, and this one, Solutions Not Punishment Collaborative. I'll come back to that, but it's interesting. The last one that we're going to look at tonight is the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. The Marsha P. Johnson Institute is the last one that we're going to look at tonight. And Marsha P. Johnson was an activist, self-identified drag queen, performer, and survivor. She was a prominent figure in the Stonewall Uprising of 1969. Marsha went by Black Marsha before settling on Marsha P. Johnson. The P stood for Pay It No Mind, which is what Marsha would say in response to questions about her gender. It is the consideration of who Black Marsha was that inspired the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, and so on and so forth. So, the mission statement, the Marsha P. Johnson Institute protects and defends the human rights of Black transgender people. We do this by organizing, advocating, creating an intentional community to heal, developing transformative leadership, and promoting our collective power. Donate. You can look at the impact report if you choose to, but I'm going to go to the donate button because I want to know if it has a 501c3 status. Support is free and it doesn't cost a thing to offer your love. But when you become a partner, you help us employ Black trans people, build more strategic campaigns, launch winning initiatives, and interrupt the people who are standing in the way of more being possible in the world for Black trans people and all people. Being a champion for solutions is the legacy of our namesake, and it is our goal to continue that legacy by championing solutions for Black people in the United States. We are offering a new reality for Black trans people in America. Our commitment is forever. Help us make it happen. This is what I'm looking for. The Marsha P. Johnson Institute is a fiscally sponsored project of Social Good Fund, a California nonprofit and registered 501c3 nonprofit, tax ID 46-132-3531. So they don't have their own 501c3 status either. Instead, they are operating under Social Good Fund, which does have its 501c3 and is allowing the organization to use its status. And that's fine. When you allow organizations to use your 501c3 status to operate their organizations, you are taking full responsibility for everything that organization does. Just remember that. Some nonprofit organizations are established for the sole purpose of acting as a fiscal sponsor for a fee for other organizations. That's how the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation operated from 2006 until 2020. From 2016 until 2020. For 4 years, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation did not have its own 501c3 status. Instead, it operated under the umbrella of two different fiscal sponsors. I won't go into that because that's a whole nother story. But some fiscal sponsors or some organizations established as fiscal sponsors for the sole purpose of getting money by allowing other organizations to operate under its umbrella. And a lot of them don't even know what those organizations are doing. They are just getting their annual fee for allowing the organizations to use their status. So let's take a look. I wrote down the number, the EIN number for the Marsha P. Johnson Institute so that I can investigate to see if it has status. I'm going to pause my sharing so that I can go to the Black Lives Matter website to pull up the links to the organizations that I'm investigating. I'm sorry, to pull up the impact document, to pull up the impact document that I'm investigating tonight so that you can see what it looks like. And then we'll move over to the IRS.gov website so that I can investigate each one of these organizations to see if they have 501c3 status, and also to look at the EINs of the organizations that they are operating under to see if their status is active. Okay, so now we are going to look at the blacklivesmatter.com website. And I wanted to show you that they still do not have a donate button on here because, you know, the Attorney General of California and another Attorney General and a Secretary of State demanded that they stop receiving donations until they can prove, until they provide a copy of their Form 990 report from 2020. Okay, that's the year in which they generated $90 million. And to this day, they have not provided any type of legitimate accounting for that money. They've already spent 21.7 million of the money and given it to these 30 LGBTQ. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of it. I promise. I'm just getting tongue tied. The LGBTQIA organizations. Okay. So to find this impact document, you would go to resources and you would go to the 2020 impact report. Once you go to the 2020 impact report, then you will see it here. And then I just downloaded it. And the information that I used or to find the information regarding the organizations, I went to the financial snapshot. You may recall this from the other video. And then I just scrolled down to page 22, I think it is. And here is the information that we've already looked at. Again, we looked at these organizations: Breakout, Black Trans Circles, BLMP, Solutions Not Punishment Coalition, and the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. The next time I do a video, we'll look at the next 5, which is the Transgender District, Black Trans Travel Fund, For the G Worlds, House of GG, and Highlander Center. We'll look at those 5 the next time. So now I'm going to go over to the IRS website. Let me get you there. We're looking at the IRS website now, and this is where you would go to search for information on any nonprofit organization. If you want to know their tax exempt status, you would just go here, and here is the path. You would go to irs.gov, that would be the home page, and then you would go to charities and nonprofits, and then we go to search for charities, and that would take you to the tax exempt organization search page, which is here. And all you have to do, if you don't have the EIN number, like I don't have the EIN number for Breakout, which is the first one we looked at, you change it to the name. And I'm going to type in Breakout. And I'm going to click on search. And then I'm going to scroll down, and it has Breakout. I don't know if it's, you know, which Breakout it is, right? I don't know if it's the Breakout that we're talking about. I'm just going to click on one. I don't know. And I'm not going to go back to see where that breakout was. I should have looked to see where it was. But if it is this particular one in Denver, Colorado, here's the EIN and the location. And again, I don't know. I should have written down the state in which it was located. That would have made my search easier. But I'm going to keep going because the next one is the Black trans circles. And the Black trans circles provided an EIN number, which makes it much easier to search for. So I'm going to type in the EIN number of the Black trans circles, and I'm going to search. And here it is. So the Transgender Law Center is the one that has the EIN. Okay, this is if you think of a hierarchy, this is at the top. This is the parent. And apparently Black Trans Circles is operating under the parent organization of the Transgender Law Center. So let's click on that and see when the last time they filed. They are in good standing. Okay, so they filed every year, 2015, 16, 17, 17, 18, and 19. They don't have anything out here yet for 2020 or 2021. And if they miss 2022, they will automatically lose their status, because if you miss filing your Form 990 for 3 consecutive years, then the IRS will automatically take your status. I'm going to click on the tax year 2019, and I'm going to see how much money they generated in that particular year. So I'm going to click on 2019 Form 990 filing. Let me increase the size. And I just want to see the gross receipts. The gross receipts, as you can see, were $5,812,699. Not bad. Not bad. But this is what a Form 990 looks like. It's 2019. And when I saw that they used a Form 990 and not a Form 990N or Form 990 EZ, I knew they had generated more than $250,000, because organizations that generate more than $250,000 in a fiscal year have to use the Form 990. So, okay, this is again the Transgender Law Center, and the Black Trans Circles must be doing business underneath this organization. I'm not going to look through all of it, of course, but again, this is what a Form 990 looks like. It provides the address of the organization, the EIN, the tax year that they're filing. Their fiscal year is a calendar year because they use January through December as their fiscal year right here. So that's easy to remember. And then it gives you the name and address of the principal officer. Okay. All right. So let's go back. And let's continue on. The next one is BLMP. So we know, I'm not going to look that one up, BLMP, because BLMP probably doesn't have its own status. I'll go ahead and look it up. I'll go ahead and type in the name, because they are more than likely operating under the fiscal sponsorship of the organization we just looked at. Okay, because the website was basically the same. They don't have their own 501c3 because their fiscal sponsor is the organization that we just looked at. So let's go to the next one, Solutions Not Punishment Coalition. So let me look that up. Just 1 second. Let me type that in. Solutions Not Punishment. Okay, Solutions Not Punishment Coalition. Okay, so I'm going to click on search. Nothing came up. I think the other name was Collective. I'm sure we're not going to find it because I'm almost positive that they are operating underneath the social and environmental entrepreneurs that we discovered in the investigation. So I'm going to put that name in, The social and environmental entrepreneurs, remember, I think they stated they were their fiscal sponsors when we went to PayPal and saw that they were their fiscal sponsor. So let's just see if they have a stat. They better have a status if they're saying that they're the fiscal sponsor for other organizations. I could type faster than this, but I'm holding my microphone with one hand and typing with the other. I'm a two-hand typer. Okay. So let's see what is a social and environmental entrepreneurs. Okay, I can't find anything about them here, but I'm sure they must have a status, or else how could they be a fiscal sponsor for an organization? So I'll just come back to that. I won't waste time. The last one we're going to look at is the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, and we received, or they listed rather, the EIN for that one. So we'll just look at it and pull it up and see the status of this organization, the Marsha P. Johnson Foundation. Okay, search. Wait a minute. How did Oakland get in this city? Maybe that's the problem, huh? Now, here we go. So the Marsha P. Johnson Institute is operated under Social Good Fund. We did learn that, didn't we? Okay, the Social Good Fund. So they have filed all of their Form 990s up to year 2019. I don't know why they're not filing. They haven't filed 2020 or 2021 yet. So let's see what their filing is. So they use a 990. And remember, if you use a 990, that means you generated more than $250,000 in the fiscal year. So let's see how much they generated in 2019, the last year that they reported. Let me increase the screen. Oh my goodness. You see this? They generated 33 million. Is that right? Yeah, $33,772,750. The Social Good Fund. Now, bear in mind, the Social Good Fund could be the fiscal sponsor for 15 organizations, and every organization money is going into this fund. So that doesn't mean that the Marsha P. Johnson Institute generated that amount of money. That means all of the organizations in which they are serving as a fiscal sponsor generated those revenues as a total. Okay. So that doesn't mean that, again, that the Marsha P. Johnson Foundation generated $33 million. You can look through this 990 and find out all of the organizations that are underneath its umbrella, if you will. I'm not going to take the time to do that because it's further down in this Form 99, and it's 72 pages. So we're not going to look through 72 pages, but I would just be curious to know how many organizations operate under the Social Good Fund Incorporated umbrella, and their cumulative amounts of revenues are added underneath this umbrella, underneath this one umbrella. May be surprising. And like I said before, some organizations establish themselves as a 501c3 for the sole purpose of serving as fiscal sponsors so that they can generate revenue from fees, serving as fees. Now, they're supposed to be like the administrators, they're supposed to make sure the organizations operate within the guidelines of the IRS, but that may not always be the case. So what have we done tonight? Tonight, we have gone through and we've looked at these 5 LGBTQIA organizations that received 6-figure grants from the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation under the direction of Patrice Concoolers. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Susan Woods, your Black Lives Matter fraud investigator. Have a great day.